So this is the watercolor unit. This is your unit sheet. You guys have worked with these before. You're used to it. And with this watercolor unit, you're going to get to choose between two different styles. This is called Flash style. It's based on traditional tattooing. And so that was a pretty cool style. Or you can choose between these scientific botanical illustration styles. And a lot of people have had a really bad experience with watercolor before. It's hard to control, but that's because probably your only experience with watercolor was your elementary school teacher gave you the watercolors and didn't really teach you how to do it, and you didn't know anything about it, okay? But I'm going to teach you just a couple skills. Once you master those skills, you have a lot more control with the watercolor, and it's a lot more fun, okay? All right, so I'll show you the first skill. These are your watercolor sets. Each one comes with a black handled brush, but you're gonna need two brushes for this skill. And this skill is called blending or shading. In the tattoo style, it's called spit shading because the tattoo artists actually use their mouth and lick their brush and use their spit. We aren't gonna do that, but it's called spit shading for that reason. All right, and you're gonna need a cup of water, which you can share with people at your table. Not everyone has to have their own, and a paper towel, okay? So the thing about watercolor is you have to control the amount of water to pigment. So with all watercolor, you need a little bit of water to even activate it, get it to do anything. So this is my black, and I just put a little bit of water in there, but you don't want a huge pile. And then if you want a really concentrated color of black, you need not very much water on your brush. You just swirl it around in there. You can always test how dark it's going to be. So that's pretty dark, okay? All right, so for spit shading, you want two brushes, okay? And one's gonna be your black brush and one's just gonna be your water blending brush, okay? And I just keep one in one hand and switch like this, okay? It's a lot harder when you're trying to figure out where to put one and it's rolling away and getting paint everywhere. I think it's easier just to switch between my hands. So I'm gonna get some concentrated black and I'm just gonna paint a black line like this. And then I'm gonna switch to my water brush and I'm gonna dip into my water, maybe tap off a little extra water. And then I'm going to let the tip of my brush touch that black, and it's going to drag some of the pigment over. Okay, so that's how I'm getting my grays, and it's kind of fading. Then I want it to fade into my white paper, so I need a rinse, just swirl, tap, tap, and then I'm going to pick that up and fade it into the white of my paper. And what we're trying to do is just get a smooth transition to black, from black to our white paper, okay? So I'm gonna try that again so you can see. I'm gonna paint a black line, switch. I just need a damp brush. Part of the practice is figuring out how much water you want in your brush, okay? If I totally dip it and I don't tap any water off, that's a lot of water, probably too much. Okay. Sometimes you just brush it against the edge a couple times and that's enough. If you still feel like you're getting too much water, you can tap it on your paper towel. Okay. I personally like to just tap on the edge of my cup and then go from there. So I'm going to pick up some black, drag it over. Okay. When I'm ready to blend into white, I've got to rinse it out, tap. And I like to be a little drier on this part, so I'm going to tap on my paper towel and blend into my white paper. All right, so that is one way. I'll have Mr. Carr pause the video so you can practice that. But now I'm going to show you the second way to do it. I always like to show multiple ways to do something because you never know what works for one person. It might not work for another person. Okay, so this one, you paint your water first. And if you're having a hard time seeing where you painted the water, you can draw yourself a little box first, okay? I can kind of see the shine of it. And then you paint your black into your water. and then you kind of do the blending again. Some people find having the water there, see, I didn't have to dip or wash or tap or anything. Sometimes people find that that's easier. Okay, so I'm going to show that one more time. I'm going to rinse my water brush, tap, paint my water, paint my black, and then blend. Okay, so as far as going back, did you see me kind of work back this way? You can do it. Some people feel like the more I work it, the worse it gets, okay? That's kind of my thinking. I just try and get it right the first time and then leave it alone. But some people find working their way back and working their way back again, they can smooth it out and fix it. I prefer to just leave it and just try and get it good on the first try. And so that's all you're practicing, is trying to get a smooth blend. Now, it may not look like a smooth blend to us right now when we're not really painting anything, but when you actually put it in a painting, so there's too much water here, it's bugging me. When we actually put it on a painting, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? None of these are perfect, but they all show the general skill of blending, so it's totally fine, okay? And so notice how I took care of my brushes. Always keep the points of the brushes together. Do you see how delicate I was with my brush? I was never jamming it on the bottom of the cup or swirling it in there or painting really scrubbily with it, okay? I'm always very gentle with it. We only have these brushes to last my 4 classes, okay? So they need to last. So watercolor is so gentle, you don't have to even wash it very hard. I just swirl it in there, tap it on there, and they're taken care of, okay? So that's how I take care of my brushes. And then cleaning your palette, just use your paper towel and use that to clean your palette. Okay? The paper towels, they are for painting only and cleaning your palette. If you can use the same paper towel for painting and cleaning, that's great, okay? They are not for drying your hands. They are not for washing the tables or drying the tables. It's a huge waste, okay? They're just for painting and cleaning your palette. And this is perfectly usable again. You could put this in your bin and use it for tomorrow's painting, okay? So try and be aware of the paper towel usage just for the environment and for our classroom budget. All right, so once you practice the spit shading, that would be the first thing you'd have Mr. Carr sign off. Spit shading practice. That's it, right there. So when that's done, you can have that get passed off. And I think that's everything.